Hey, being aware of social structures and partaking in them are two completely different things. I recently came across a YouTube short of a guy quoting Nietzsche, and roughly paraphrased, the quote goes like this: any man who knows too much can't fit in anywhere. That's the curse of awareness. Once you delve underneath the surface, you realize that this whole world, it's not so simple. And you start to realize who people really are and the games they're playing. All the fake confidence, the ulterior motives. And you realize this whole society is built off lies. You try to tell people about it, but they tell you you're overreacting. And now you can't belong. Now you realize you can't go back anymore. I wish I knew where the clip came from, because from the delivery and the raw emotion he carried, it seemed like the culminating part of a story. The scene is a guy monologuing all of this, lighting up a cigarette, eyes red and tired, staring off into the distance, occasionally looking over to whoever he's talking to. I'm not an educated man in philosophy or the world in any sense, but I do want to use this channel as a means of discussing the human condition. And this short was a perfect example of the human condition. I don't really want to talk too much in detail about that clip, how it's presented or how it's delivered and stuff. Rather, I want to talk about the perspective it was coming from. The part I wanted to focus on was where he said society is built off lies. Absolutely, yes. But what if I said that society wouldn't be a society if that wasn't the case? Let's look at a basic example here. How are you? In what I know of the Western world, the standard response is good, or I'm fine, or living the dream, Bob. But what happens when you're having a really terrible day and you actually do say, terrible? I think I've been quite lucky to be around people that have been interested in hearing out a negative response, but I've also been unfortunate enough to see the awkward reactions to a negative response. In all honesty, I don't think most people are inherently equipped to help people out of emotional trouble right away. They need a bit of guidance. In an ideal world, everybody would be able to openly say how they feel and then be reciprocated. Unfortunately, we are humans and we are flawed. I think I'm going to catch some flack for this, but let's look at another example. What do you think about tipping? I think at one point it used to be a gesture of appreciation and gratitude. Like, hey, you were nice to me while the kitchen was on fire and that table over there was throwing mud at you. I don't know where they got the mud. Here's some extra money. Tipping has become such an ingrained part of North American culture that we believe that we have to tip and that it's part of the worker's wage. In contrast, I think Japanese serving staff make a lot less than North American staff, but they still see tipping as a bit of an insult. Since it's such a huge part of North American culture, I think if North Americans were to ban tipping in general, there would be such a huge backlash over it. People would go nuts just because it was such a big part of their livelihood. The societal lie in this case? That tips are necessary to live. I say this because one of the main reasons restaurants just don't pay their staff more is to keep their menu pricing down. Now, why do they want to keep menu pricing down? I'll tell you why. It's kind of because it's the norm of the culture. Why would I pay my server staff more if that restaurant down the street isn't doing that? Why would I stop tipping if that same restaurant is continuing tipping? If you think long enough, you'll probably find a lot of things in place that are in place just because a lot of people are doing it. Sure, we can break it out right, but that'll cause a lot of problems in how the local society works. You can call me a coward for that take, but I think going about it in the revolutionary way would cause more harm in the long run than it does good. So, how do I think we should go about living in a society? How do we break this curse of awareness? Well, how about just not participating in it? Yeah, it'll take a lot of strength and effort to do, but there's really nothing stopping you from doing that. Call back my restaurant example. If that restaurant owner can operate at a loss for a little bit, they might start a change by not making tipping necessary. If you don't force a change in others and at most only participate in a level that you are slightly uncomfortable with, it'll start a change. There's a reason Sun Tzu said in The Art of War, if you know your enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If it feels like you're a coward or running away for not partaking in certain societal norms, maybe you should sit down and think about why you think that way. Whether you realize it or not, we all benefit from living in a little bit of a lie. Not forcing anything and still partaking in the societal game is you allowing the systems that you benefit from to continue while fostering change, all while being true to yourself. And when you are true to yourself, that's when you'll find the space where you truly belong. It might take a while, but you'll get there. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Thanks for listening.